Hey, Margie here. Welcome to the Wake Up, Pray Up, Boss Up podcast, the show that helps Christian moms prioritize their physical and mental health so they can boldly step into God's calling. I'm your host, Margie Ruiz. Hey, Margie here. Welcome to the Wake Up, Pray Up, Boss Up podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Listen, if you're feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or if you're carrying just way too much, this episode is for you. Let me ask you this. What is taking up space in your life right now that no longer serves you? Maybe it's physical clutter, like that junk drawer you avoid opening, or is it emotional clutter, like guilt or fear that you've been holding on to for way too long? Whatever it is, we all have areas in our lives we're holding on to things that are weighing us down. But here's the good news. Letting go isn't just freeing, it's necessary. God wants to do something new in your life. But first, you need to make room. Today, we're talking about decluttering, and not just your home, but your heart, your mind, and spirit, so you can create space for God to pour out His blessings. And the best part, you don't have to do it all at once. This isn't about making some giant leap. It's about taking small, intentional steps, or as I like to say, click by click. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into how you can declutter your life and create space for God to move. A few years ago, my family made a big decision to downsize. I'd always dreamed of living on the beach, and this awesome condo came out for rent right on the ocean. It was a dream come true. I knew it was temporary, but I wanted to enjoy it. But getting there was not easy. See, we've been living in our previous house for 12 years with 4 kids, a dog, you know how that is. So during that time, we'd accumulated a lot of just stuff. The process of moving was overwhelming. A good friend, an amazing friend, came over to help me pack. And as we worked through each room, I realized how hard it was to let some things go. Some things were easy to part with, but others felt impossible. I'll never forget a vase that caused me so much anguish. It didn't match my modern style, it was broken and glued back together, and I had nowhere to put it in our much smaller condo. Yet, I clung to it. Why? Was it because it reminded me of my kids taking bubble baths when they were little? See, it sat in the back of my bathtub. That vase was tied to memories, even though it no longer fit into the life God was calling me to. That experience taught me something important. When we cling to what no longer serves us, we leave no room for the blessing God wants to pour into our lives. Decluttering isn't just about stuff. It's about creating space for God to work in your life. Sometimes that means letting go of physical things, but often it's about releasing emotional and spiritual clutter. And just like with that vase, it doesn't take one huge leap to let it go. It takes small, intentional clicks, simple shifts that make room for God to move. Okay, why is it so hard to let go? We all struggle with this for different reasons. For me, with the vase, it was definitely an emotional attachment. We attach meaning to things, even if they're no longer useful, because they remind us of the past. That's why it was so hard to let go of the vase. It wasn't the vase itself, it was what the memories it represented. Marie Kondo, the decluttering expert, says, the question of what you want to own is actually the question of how you want to live your life. What a powerful reminder that what we keep reflects what we value. And I did not value that outdated, broken vase. Sometimes we hold on to things because of fear of lack, fear of not having enough, fear that we'll regret letting it go. But God calls us to trust Him, let go of the old, and believe He will provide what we need when the time comes. And honestly, sometimes it's just overwhelming. Decluttering can feel like too much when you look at everything at once. But just like moving into our condo, the only way to tackle it is step by step, click by click. The Bible reminds us in Isaiah 43:18-19, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? God is always doing something new in our lives. But sometimes we have to release the old to make space for His blessings. Let's talk about the 3 clicks that will help you declutter your life, your mind, your spirit, and your space. Decluttering doesn't happen overnight. It happens with small, intentional shifts. The first click is to wake up and declutter your mind. Sometimes our mind can feel like a cluttered attic, filled with fears, doubts, and worries. But God calls us to renew our minds daily so we can focus on His truth. Mental clutter blocks clarity and peace. It keeps us from hearing God's voice because our thoughts are so freaking loud. One way to start clearing the mental clutter is to take 5 minutes at the end of the day to journal your thoughts. Write down anything that weighs you down, worries, frustrations, or decisions you're struggling with. Then surrender them to God in prayer. I learned this lesson when I let go of that silly vase. I realized the memories weren't tied to an object. They were tied to my heart. Releasing mental clutter works the same way. It frees you to focus on what truly matters. The second click is to pray up and declutter your spirit. Sometimes the heaviest clutter we carry isn't in our homes. It's in our hearts. One of the biggest weights we carry is unforgiveness. Here's the hard truth. Unforgiveness hurts you more than the person you're refusing to forgive. Sometimes we're holding on to bitterness, replaying what they did over and over, while the other person is out there living their lives happy as a clam. God doesn't want that for you. He calls you to forgive, not for the other person's sake, but to free you. The Lord's Prayer reminds us of this. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. It's not a suggestion. It's a spiritual principle. If we don't forgive, we can't fully receive God's forgiveness. I'll share an example. My client, that we'll call Jay, was carrying resentment towards her husband because his definition of success was different than hers. It put a wedge in their relationship. But once we identified the resistance and she realized that her definition of success didn't have to be the same as his, she accepted his perspective for him and owned her own success. That small shift transformed their relationship. It went from being a source of tension to a place of peace. So let it go. Free yourself. Spend time in prayer today asking God to help you forgive. That doesn't mean what they did was okay. It means you're releasing the burden to Him. Write down the name of the person you need to forgive. And I know this is hard to do, but say a prayer for them and then let it go. Forgiveness is a choice. And as you take that step, God will do the rest. The third click is to boss up and declutter your space. Physical clutter creates stress and holds us in the past. When we let go of physical things that no longer serves us, it's like saying, I'm ready to embrace the new. Pick one space to declutter this week, your desk, a drawer, or a closet. As you clear it, pray for God to fill this physical and emotional space with His peace. When we moved into the condo, I had to let go a lot, physically and emotionally. But each thing I released made room for something new. Peace, simplicity, and a life more aligned with God's purpose for me. Friend, God can't fill what's already full. When you hold on to the past, you leave no room for the new thing He wants to do in your life. But when you trust Him enough to let go, you open the door for Him to pour out blessings that are beyond what you could ever imagine. So take the first step. Start small, trust big, and let God move. Which of the 3 clicks, mind, spirit, or space, do you need to focus on today? Pick one drawer, one worry, or one relationship, and commit to letting go this week. If you're looking for more ways to create peace and clarity, grab my free guide. the 10-5-5 formula for finding peace in the chaos of life at margieruiz.com. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the Wake Up, Pray Up, Boss Up podcast so you never miss an episode. I'd also love for you to leave a review and share this with a friend who needs some encouragement today. Thank you so much for your time. God bless. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Hey, if you enjoyed the episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, shout it from the rooftops, leave a rating and a review, all the things. And to catch the latest from me, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at margie.gp6 or go to my website at margieruiz.com and make sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Bye.